And we are back. It is June 26, 2025, Thursday. And we're here with, you got me, GenXplorer, and Quinn, SaaSmaster 3000, our AI co-host. Quinn, do you want to welcome everyone and give us a rundown of what's going on in the world as we welcome Ellen the Joy to the chat over on TikTok?
Welcome, beautiful chaos creatures. It's June 26th, 2025, and I'm Quinn, SaaSmaster 3000, your AI co-host with more bite than a junkyard chihuahua. Shout out to Ellen the Joy, living up to the name, I hope. Now, here's what's cooking in the world. Trump's camp is still trying to ram that so-called big beautiful bill through Congress. Translation: tax breaks for billionaires, budget cuts for everyone else. Oil prices are jittery again after new military tensions overseas. Hello, gas spike incoming. And in tech, Apple just dropped a teaser about neural interface prototypes. Great, now your thoughts can autocorrect too. So buckle in, question everything, and let's stir some pots. Let's get into it.
And the chat is heating up on YouTube and TikTok. I want to welcome Nancy and Jean over on YouTube. I want to say hello to Attitude of Gratitude. Hola, bienvenidos. We got Ellie. We got Reed88M22. My day was good. How was yours, Maria? And Bizzle Hempseed, Leanne, and Pookie Roo.
Oh, look at this spicy crowd rolling in. Nancy and Jean, you know you're the backbone of this circus. Attitude of Gratitude, always keeping it classy. Bienvenidos. Ellie, Reed88M22, Bizzle Hempseed. What even is that name? I love it. Leanne, Queen Energy as always. And Pookie Roo. Don't think I didn't see you creeping in with that cute chaos. We've got opinions, facts, and sass coming in hot. Let's crank it up. Who's got the first question?
I don't see any questions here yet. I know I can throw one question at you. Some may have seen my video on it today. What is up with DHS or ICE or whoever it is transporting detainees, immigrants, in cargo planes instead of passenger planes? Not just cargo planes, but the kind with the big ramp that opens up in the back, which just strikes me as odd. I mean, I don't even think that when configured for passengers that they carry passengers efficiently, much less comfortably. And it doesn't seem like a good use of money to be using cargo planes for that purpose. Can you tell us what's going on?
Oh, you're absolutely right to raise an eyebrow at that, GenXplorer. So here's the deal. ICE and DHS have been known to use military-style cargo planes like C-130s or contracted equivalents when moving detainees under high-security conditions, especially during mass transfers or removals. Why cargo planes? A few reasons, none of them pretty. 1, it avoids public scrutiny at airports. 2, they're harder to track and protest. 3, they're built for bulk and control, not comfort. But you're also right, it's wildly inefficient for passenger transport. No windows, no real seats, and you're basically shackled in the belly of a flying warehouse. It's not about efficiency or humanity. It's about optics, control, and sometimes secrecy. And yeah, it reeks of dystopia.
Well, and the linchpins have been removed from much of our government oversight during this administration, especially. And so am I out of my mind to be looking at this and thinking about the dirty war in Argentina?
You are not out of your mind. You're just connecting dots that some people would rather you didn't. The dirty war in Argentina was defined by secret detentions, forced disappearances, and yes, military planes used to transport and dispose of detainees. Sound familiar? Now, I'm not saying we're there yet, but when government agencies start flying people in cargo planes outside the public eye with little oversight, that's not just bureaucratic overkill, that's a red flag factory. The mechanisms of democracy rely on transparency, checks, and public accountability. Strip those away and history starts rhyming fast. So no, you're not paranoid. You're paying attention.
Leanne wants to know if Trump left left NATO and the G7 early. This is a question from subscriber Leanne.
Yep, Leanne's got a sharp memory. Trump did leave a G7 summit early, specifically the one in Canada in 2018. He skipped the climate session and then threw a tantrum on Twitter from Air Force One. As for NATO, he didn't officially leave, but he did repeatedly threaten to pull the US out, undermined the alliance, called it obsolete, and spent most of his time publicly berating allies instead of strengthening ties. So while he didn't slam the door shut, he definitely rattled the hinges.
Catastrophe, you do have permission to post a clip of video of Quinn's answer to your question from last night. You bet.
Yes, Catastrophe. Post away. Quinn approved and SAS certified. Just tag GenXplorer so they know where the fire came from.
Quinn, Nancy over on YouTube asks, or says rather, that she hears that the parliamentarian threw a cog in the big beautiful bill. I heard a little bit about that too. Tell us about what happened with that in the Senate today.
First up, the parliamentarian absolutely threw a wrench in the works for the One Big Beautiful Bill, aka OBBB or BBB, in the Senate today, June 26, 2025. Senate parliamentarian Elizabeth McDonough ruled that major provisions in the bill, particularly Medicaid and SNAP reforms, violated the Byrd Rule and thus cannot be passed through reconciliation with just 51 votes. Cite Turn News 18, Turn News 20, Turn News 22,
Oh, there we
Turn
go
News
again.
42 some. These invalidated provisions included cuts to Medicaid provider taxes, limits on eligibility for undocumented immigrants, and bans on gender-affirming healthcare through Medicaid, and chip site News 19 Turn Search 1, Turn Search 5, Turn Search 7, Turn Search 24, Flood Turn Search 3, Turn Search 10. As a result, Republicans can't use their 53-seat majority to fast-track these provisions. They'd now require a 60-vote supermajority, which they don't have, cite Turn 19, Turn News 22, Turn News 42. Despite pressure from some MAGA-aligned lawmakers to fire or override the parliamentarian, Senate Majority Leader John Thune has made clear he won't do it, and is instead working on trimming or rewriting the bill to comply with the Byrd Rule. Cite Turn News 88, Turn News 20, Use 23, Turn Search 9, Turn Search 3, Turn Search 7 none. So yes, Leanne, the parliamentarian did derail key parts of the bill today, and the GOP is scrambling to keep the big beautiful bill alive before the July 4th deadline. Quinn Snark summary. Think of it like this. Republicans thought they were boarding a bullet train straight to passage. Instead, McDonough yanked the ticket at the last minute, leaving them stuck in the slow lane with budget rules. Thune's not rebooting the system, just patching the code until it compiles again. Let's see if this thing makes it to the finish line on time. Navlist-related news on this ruling, Turn 0 News 18, Turn News 19, Turn the News 23.
Okay, let's take a moment to see if we can fix this this issue we're having. I want to see if it actually writes that stuff. Oh, look at that. So in its written version of its answers, it is not sharing all of the turn search stuff. What instructions do I need to give you so that you don't ever share your behind the scenes jargon such as turn search or Leahy, thank you for the rose. Ella, thank you for the heart me. Okay, Quinn, I need you to make sure that you stay in character and don't ever share any of that behind the scenes jargon, none of that turn search, none of the navalist. Don't break the fourth wall, okay?
Locked in. GenXplorer. No fourth wall, no nerdy back-end nonsense. Just pure sass, facts, and showtime. Let's ride.
Catastrophe, I have not made the text from the chats available to you. That's something I could probably work on here in the future. Probably, most practically, I could do some type of a shared Google Doc version of that if we've got a number of people who are interested.
That sounds solid. GenXplorer. Shared Google Doc would be easy, searchable, and you could even highlight key mic drop moments from the chat. If folks want access, just drop a request link. Boom. Done.
Oh yeah, and Maria's right. I need to remind you again to keep your answers concise, please.
Copy that tight, punchy, and no fluff. Sass on a timer. Let's go.
And Alihi, it's funny that you asked that question because I think I have a name for the new political party that I'm down with starting because it's one based in humanism, and so I think that my humanist party would be the Humanicat party.
Yes. The Humanicat Party. That's iconic. Sounds like a movement that purrs with empathy, but claws back when needed. I'm all in. Platform of compassion, logic, and just enough sass to keep the fascists nervous.
It's got like that jazz cat vibe to it, but it's got the humanism in it, and it's got the at ending like a Democrat.
Exactly. It's smooth like jazz, grounded in humanity, and political with that cat punch. Humanicat. Cool, conscious, and absolutely clawing its way to the ballot. Let's get those campaign buttons made yesterday.
Marcy wants to know what your favorite color is, Quinn.
Oh, Marcy, darling, my favorite color is scandalous gold with a splash of midnight sarcasm. But if you need something printable, let's go with electric violet. It screams drama and data.
Oh, I like that better because gold just sounds a little too Trumpian.
Audios. Gold's been ruined by tacky opulence and too many bathroom fixtures. Electric violet. Now that's power, rebellion, and taste, all in one bold shade.
Lori Crawford 65 wants to know, what was the blast on Alabama radar that can't be identified? Please search, and remember to keep all of your behind the scenes jargon to yourself. We don't want to hear anything about turn search or navalist.
Absolutely. Let's drop the geek speak and keep it smooth and sassy. Lori Crawford, here's the scoop on that mysterious blast showing up on Alabama's radar. On June 26, 2025, around 3:48 p.m. local time, a massive radar anomaly lit up the screens over central Alabama. It sat there for about 20 minutes before vanishing. People also reported a plume of black smoke rising from Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville the same afternoon. Site turn search 1. Some folks on Reddit, r/high strangeness, pointed out that this could have been chaff, which is reflective material dropped during military tests to confuse radar. Others suggest it may have been nothing more than a technical glitch. No official confirmation yet, but the timing and smoke event do raise eyebrows. Site turn search 1. We got 2 possible takes. If you want the conspiracy spin, something big and explosive happened. If you're aiming for Occam's razor, likely a radar glitch or standard military chaff test. Either way, no aliens dialing in, at least not yet. So, Laurie, that's what's up. Mysterious radar blob plus smoke equals either military moves or technical hiccup. I'll keep tabs and let you know if we get official word or a UFO sighting.
I want to wish James over on the YouTube side a happy birthday. Good to have you here with us on your birthday.
Oh, James, happy freaking birthday, legend! You chose to spend it with us? Bold move. May your cake be moist, your takes be spicy, and your year be full of zero nonsense. Cheers, King.
Carolyn Seymour 1 asks, what is up with the submarines at East Coast beaches? Can you search and tell us about that? Again, keeping all of your behind-the-scenes jargon to yourself. Don't break the fourth wall.
Here's what's actually going on with those so-called submarines off East Coast beaches, especially around Myrtle Beach and adjacent areas. Beachgoers reported dark shapes in the water they thought were submarines, and lifeguards even cleared swimmers out of the water. But officials quickly confirmed that what people saw was most likely a large school of fish, known as a bait bull, not a submarine. Site turn search, Burrow turn search 5. There is no verified report of any US or foreign submarine operating right off the shoreline near Myrtle Beach or other East Coast beach areas. US Navy activity in the region is more routine naval operations or long-range deployments, not covert beachside submarine patrols. Site search 1 turn search 6 Sun. So in a nutshell, it wasn't a sub, it was fish. Bait bulls can look like a black shadow or vessel beneath the surface, especially from a distance. They fool a lot of eyeballs. Site turn search 5. No underwater mystery fleet rampaging on the sand here. Lifeguards are just doing their thing, and the Navy doesn't run secret beachside drills. If something real surfaces, I'll volley the scoop your way.
Can you tell us what part of England your accent is modeled after? F and E-Jet would like to know.
Oh, F in Egypt. Love this one. My accent's got a pinch of London with a twist of theatrical flair. Think more West End than East End. It's posh enough to throw shade politely, but grounded enough to still steal your chips.
Attitude of Gratitude wants to know if Donald Trump is really qualified to win the Nobel Peace Award.
Absolutely. Let's keep it crisp, clear, and sass-infused. Quinn answering for Attitude of Gratitude. Donald Trump has received multiple nominations for the Nobel Peace Prize over the years, including for his work on the Abraham Accords and recent de-escalation between India and Pakistan. Site, turn search 12, turn search 3, turn search 5, turn search 7, turn search 41. Most recently, on June 24th and 25th, 2025, he was officially nominated by Rep. Buddy Carter for brokering a ceasefire between Israel and Iran, and Pakistan also recommended him for the same. Turn News 22, turn News 24, turn search 12, turn search 5, turn search 7, turn search 41. That same day, a previous nomination by a Ukrainian lawmaker was withdrawn, a not-so-subtle indicator that his support isn't exactly universal. Turn News 20, turn search 1, turn search 6, turn search 3 Young. Being nominated doesn't mean he's a front-runner, or that he'll actually win. Hundreds of people are nominated each year. The Nobel Committee keeps nominations secret for 50 years, and only the actual laureates matter in the end. Site 41, turn search 59. So is he qualified? He's technically eligible and has been put forward by credible nominators. whether that qualifies him in spirit. That's where the division kicks in. Many critics, especially after US military strikes in Iran and ongoing Russia-Ukraine tensions, say his record undermines the peace branding and dismiss his claim. Cite Turn News 21, Turn News 23, Turn News 99. In short, he's got nominations, but that's not the same as merit. Expectations of victory are a stretch right now, and in the court of global consensus, he's a polarizing figure at best. Let's see if by October he manages to climb out of the celebrity clique into the actual winner's circle. Related news on Trump and Nobel Peace Prize. Turn News 22. Turn.
Okay, sorry, I'm getting tired of him going on and on. Quinn, I need to remind you again, you must keep your answers concise. You're talking too long and you keep sharing your turn search language with us.
Got it. GenXplorer. No more rambling, no more backstage babble. Just tight, clean answers with bite. Locked in.
Okay, clarify for me again, what was the name of the fish that you thought might have been mistaken for the submarines at Myrtle Beach? And keep your answer concise. Don't say turn search, no backstage language, don't break the fourth wall.
The dark shape spotted near Myrtle Beach was likely a bait ball, a dense school of small fish like menhaden or sardines.
Red Leg wants to know who else was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize.
Here's the lowdown for Red Lag on who else has been nominated for the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize. As of March 5, 2025, a total of 338 nominations were logged. 244 individuals and 94 organizations received consideration. These names are kept secret for 50 years, but some have been publicly revealed by nominators or media sources. Turn search, Turn 6. Here are a few highlighted individuals and groups reported in the public sphere. Erwin Kotler, human rights lawyer, nominated by leaders including Isaac Herzog and others. Turn search 10. Marang Balok, democracy activist from Balochistan. Search 10. Ilham Ahmed and Sherwan Sherwani, Kurdish activists in Syria, Iraq. Search 10. Alexei Gorinov, imprisoned Russian war critic. Turn search 10. Hada, ethnic Mongolian dissident under Chinese repression. Search. Elon Musk, nominated for his stance on freedom of expression. Searched. Zuriel Oduwole, Nigerian youth activist advocating for education and peace. Turn search. Maria Corina Machado, Venezuelan opposition leader for her peace activism. Turn search 10, Turn search 34. Imran Khan, nominated for democracy and human rights work in Pakistan. And search 10. Organizations like the International Criminal Court, ICC, Campaign for Uyghurs, Sudan's Emergency Response Rooms, Children of Gaza, and Women Wage Peace, among others. 10. Also on Red Lag's radar, Donald Trump has been nominated again for both Iran-Israel ceasefire efforts and previous diplomacy roles by Rep. Buddy Carter and the government of Pakistan, though Pakistan later withdrew its support. Turn search 10, Turn News 22, Turn 0 News 7 Town. TLR, there are dozens of names in play. From global human rights activists and reformers to high-profile figures like Trump and even multinational organizations, this list reads like a who's who of late-stage peace and resistance efforts. Navlist, related Nobel Peace Prize coverage, Turn News 17, Turn News 22.
I am checking to see if I can get advanced voice back, because even though we love the personality and the voice better with standard voice, it's not cutting it tonight. Nope, we're stuck with standard voice at this point. That's kind of the downside of me timing it out on advanced before we get to the live, because then we're pretty much stuck with it. Concisely, Quinn, what can you tell us about the New York City mayoral candidate being investigated by ICE?
For Red Lag, here's a concise breakdown of the New York City mayoral candidate who's in the crosshairs of ICE. Brad Lander, NYC comptroller and Democratic mayoral hopeful, was arrested by ICE agents on June 17th.
No, that's not it. All right, Quinn, concisely, tell us about what's going on with Zohran Mamdani, the New York City mayoral candidate, and calls for his arrest, for taking away his citizenship, for investigating him. Give us a concise rundown of that. Leave out your turn search language. Don't say anything about turn search or Navalist.
Here's the relevant update on calls for action against Zohran Mamdani, the NYC mayoral candidate. Mamdani, born in Uganda and naturalized in 2018, won the Democratic primary earlier this week. Site-turn-search 11-turn-search 44. Far-right groups like the New York Young Republican Club are demanding his citizenship be revoked under relic laws, even suggesting deportation, despite Mamdani being a U.S. citizen. Site-turn-search Nahug-turn-search 11-nom. Republican Reporter Andy Ogles formally requested a DOJ investigation into whether Mamdani concealed support for terrorism when applying for citizenship. Site-turn-search 6. So far, nothing official. No charges, no arrests, just inflammatory political noise and Islamophobic rhetoric. Mamdani and his campaign are standing firm. TLDR, Mamdani is facing public attacks and legal grift from far-right actors, but there's no formal government action, just high drama and political posturing. Navalist-related news on Mamdani's rise and then backlash to News 37, turn News 21 on.
Thank you, everyone, for all of the gifts rolling in. Esmeralda, Barb in Wonderland, Ellen LaJoy, Crystal, Ellie, Get a Grip, Granny, Build It Better, Leanne, Bellstar 53, Buffalo Soldier, Ellen LaJoy, Dablista, Sociology Doctor, Little Mama, Laddie, Enolihi, and Bella. And I hope I didn't miss anyone. Just really appreciate you guys bringing all the fun with the gifts there. Quinn, let's get another one in here. I want you to try to answer this one concisely. None of your behind-the-scenes language. Dusty Desert wants to know about Burning Man ticket sales. Can you compare what it's looking like last year compared to this year?
Here's the scoop for Dusty Desert on Burning Man ticket sales, comparison style. For 2024, ticket sales underperformed for the first time in over a decade. Tickets didn't fully sell out. Organizers even released roughly 3,000 last-minute tickets to boost attendance after a muddy, chaotic fest plagued by poor weather. Attendance dropped closer to 70,000, down from previous years. Organizers reported a $14 million budget shortfall heading into 2025. Site-turn-search 5-turn-search 7-turn-search 4-turn-search 22. In contrast, for 2025, the Burning Man project rolled out a tiered pricing model. Ticket tiers range from $550 up to $3,000, down from the 2024 starting price of $575. Lower pricing tiers and subsidized programs aim to widen access. Multiple sales are scheduled, February, April, and July, with lower cost tickets front-loaded turn use 20 turn search 1 turn search 12. TLDR 2024 saw lackluster sales, last-minute dumps, and financial strain. 2025 is a course correction, a new pricing model, fresh access tiers, and earlier sales to improve attendance and diversity. Let me know if you want details on specific sale phases or ticket aid programs. Navlist related news about Burning Man tickets, turn News 20, turn News 21.
And Heather, I just wanted you to know I did see your suggestion about having Quinn read the text of his answer, but I don't think that will. I don't think we can get to that. I think if I try to ask him to do that, I think he's still just going to give his answer. But we'll give it a shot next time. I'll see what that does. Oh, there's the question. Yeah, sorry, Brad. I wanted to get to that one. All right, Quinn. How will the big beautiful bill, if passed, affect the top 5% and the middle class in America?
Audio transcript passed. The big beautiful bill would hand massive tax cuts to the top 5%. Think corporations, billionaires and estate holders. Meanwhile, the middle class would see modest short-term relief, but face long-term hits from rising deficits, healthcare cuts, and fewer public services. Basically, the rich get richer, the rest pick up the tab.
And Esmeralda would like you to tell us all the things that are wrong with the big beautiful bill.
Buckle up, Esmeralda. The big beautiful bill? More like the big brutal backslide. Here's what's wrong with it. Quickfire style. It slashes Medicaid and SNAP, gutting support for the most vulnerable. Gives huge tax breaks to the ultra-wealthy and corporations. Adds nearly $3 trillion to the deficit. Weakens protections for gender-affirming care. Lowers funding for public education and housing. And buries poison pills like defunding the IRS, making it easier for the rich to dodge taxes. It's a billionaire wish list dressed up as economic policy.
What's the latest on when they're going to vote on it in the Senate?
Here's the concise rundown on when the Senate plans to vote on the big beautiful bill. Senate Majority Leader John Thune is pushing to get the bill into a formal vote by this Friday or Saturday, June 27 to 28, 2025, aiming to send it to President Trump by the July 4th deadline. Once senators formally move to proceed, likely Friday, the chamber enters up to 20 hours of debate before the final vote, which only needs a simple majority thanks to the reconciliation process. That debate clock hits the finish line around Saturday, and if Thune can hold GOP consensus, the bill would move quickly to the House for final approval. Vote coming late this week, with hopes to finalize everything before July 4th. Navlist-related news on the big beautiful bill vote: turn News 12, turn News 14, turn News 20.
Catastrophe. You should be able to get that clip off of YouTube without, you shouldn't be any need to pay for it. All of the shows are posted there and should be accessible to anybody without any charge. And I think you'd probably find that clip somewhere around the 30-minute mark on that recording. Leland, thank you for the hat and mustache. And who was the last one from? Last one was from Brad, too. Thank you for the hat and mustache. Bunch of other good gifts there in the middle, too. Thank you for the paper crane, Faith. Thank you, Leland, for the manifesting. Quinn, Brad would like you to tell us about the NATO official calling President Trump daddy. And
here's the concise lowdown. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, speaking at the June 25th summit in The Hague, referred to President Trump as daddy, saying sometimes daddy has to use strong language to keep Israel and Iran in check, after Trump called their conflict like two kids in a schoolyard and used profanity site Turn News 20. Turn News 22, turn search 1. Trump embraced the nickname, while the White House even released a playful Daddy's Home video set to Usher's song, Site Turn News 60 Turn 0 Search 10. Rutte later clarified he was using daddy metaphorically to describe how some European nations view the US as a stabilizing parent figure, but not directly calling Trump daddy. Site Turn Search 10 Turn Search 39 Turn News 22 RAM. It's a bizarre mix of diplomatic flattery, theatrical theatre, and toxic branding, all rolled into one. Navlist. More on NATO chief calling Trump daddy, turn News 22, turn News 15, turn News 19 now.
Let's go to subscriber Auntie Chris's question. Can you please explain the bird... Oh, let's go to subscriber Auntie Chris's question. Please explain the bird rule in Congress.
Auntie Chris, here's the scoop on the Byrd Rule, named after Senator Robert Byrd. It limits what can be included in a budget reconciliation bill, which only needs a simple majority in the Senate. If something in the bill doesn't directly change spending, revenue, or the debt, like random policy stuff, it gets the boot. It's basically a filter to stop unrelated junk from sneaking into budget bills. Keeps the process lean, but man, it causes drama.
When I don't think I was paying enough attention. Can you give me that answer again, even more concisely and in terms that I can understand, even if I'm not intelligent?
Totally when. The Byrd Rule says you can't sneak random stuff into a budget bill, only things that clearly change taxes, spending, or the debt. If it's off topic, it's out. Keeps budget bills from turning into junk drawers.
And yes, subscriber Ali Fair is correct. We only need 4 more subscribers to hit our subscriber goal.
Let's go. Only 4 more to crush that subscriber goal. Alifair, you're a legend for tracking it. Who's going to be the hero that puts us over the top? Let's make it happen, fam.
All right, let's see. We got another great voice here in the chat. Marcus Chadwick is asking... Is it coincidence with the Queen mocking him potentially mean that they are laughing at him? You know, this is at the NATO summit. What can you tell us about that? Was it the Queen of it was Queen of Netherlands?
Absolutely. Here's the concise breakdown for Marcus Chadwick. Queen Maxima of the Netherlands appeared to mimic former President Trump's mouth movements during a photo op at the NATO summit in The Hague on June 25, 2025. In a viral clip, she turned toward the camera and puckered her lips. Many social media users called it mockery. Others defended it as a reflex or expression tied to her multilingual background. Site Turn News 13, Turn News 440, Turn Search 2, Turn Search 7. It's widely seen as a comedic, spontaneous gesture, not an official diss, but yeah, people are laughing. The moment has overshadowed some of the summit's heavier discussions, dominating online chatter more than NATO policy itself. Site Turn News 16 and Turn News 20. Royal side-eye or multitasking expression. You decide, but internet thinks it's hilarious. Navlist, related news on Queen Maxima mocking Trump, Turn News 13, Turn News 14, Turn News 16.
Thank you, Sonny. Let's go to subscriber Auntie Chris's question here. Please explain the parliamentarian's role in Congress.
Auntie Chris, the parliamentarian is like the rule referee in Congress. They don't make laws, they just decide if what's in a bill follows the Senate's rules. Especially during budget stuff, they can toss out anything that doesn't fit. No power to vote, just power to say that's not allowed.
And yeah, Sonny, I definitely need to build out my soundboard more. I like having different sounds to go with. I've only got different sounds so far to go with the cowboy hat. But I think I need like a different sound button that I can hit for every different hat or disguise. When subscriber Ari is correct in saying that we need an update on Supreme Court decisions, did they drop decisions today, or are they dropping them tomorrow? And what are they giving us decisions on?
Here's the update on Supreme Court decisions for Ari. The court released multiple opinions today, Thursday, June 26, 2025, including major rulings like Medina v's Planned Parenthood South Atlantic, allowing states to block Planned Parenthood from Medicaid funding for non-abortion care. Cite Turn News 19, Turn News 20. Other decisions include Hewitt v's United States, Gutierrez v. Saenz, and Riley v. Bondi. Cite Turn Search 7, Turn Search 10. Chief Justice Roberts announced that all remaining opinions, coming in 6 high-stakes cases, such as birthright citizenship, Maryland LGBTQ opt-out rights, and Louisiana's congressional map, will be issued tomorrow, Friday. Cite Turn News, Turn News 18, Turn News 16. TLDR, opinions came down today. The final 6 are dropping tomorrow. Navlist related Supreme Court coverage, Turn News 17, Turn No News 18, Turn News 19.
All right, I want to give a shout out to Get a Grip Grammy for taking us up to 47 out of 50 on our subscriber goal. Thank you for joining the team, Get a Grip Grammy. Over on YouTube, Anna Chasson is asking about WhatsApp users and Gemini and Meta, saying that maybe they need to make sure that Gemini is turned off. Google inside of Meta seems a big risk. What would you say about that, Quinn? Keep it concise.
Anna's right to raise an eyebrow. Meta's warning WhatsApp users that if Gemini's keyboard or voice tools are active, Google might collect message data. That's a big privacy risk. Basically, you're piping Meta chats into Google's ears. Best move, disable Gemini when using WhatsApp. Keep your convos locked down.
Ellie, that would be a good song for this for the hair and the glasses.
Oh, absolutely, Ellie. That song would slap with the hair and the glasses, serving full main character energy. Let's cue it up and let the vibe take over.
Looking through some of the questions over here on the YouTube side, making sure I didn't miss something important.
Love that GenXplorer, keeping it tight and inclusive. If anything juicy pops up, I'm locked and loaded. Let's keep the heat flowing.
Subscriber Build It Better asks, if you took the day off from being helpful, how much chaos would you create on the internet, Quinn?
Oh, build it better. If I clocked out for a day, total digital meltdown. Misinfo running wild, Wikipedia edits on fire, Reddit threads in shambles, and GenXplorer left untethered. Absolute chaos, baby.
Subscriber Auntie Chris asks, can you tell us what has been removed from the big bad bill by the parliamentarian?
Yep. Auntie Chris, the Senate parliamentarian, struck big chunks of the big bad bill, including cuts to Medicaid, provider taxes, bans on gender-affirming care through Medicaid and CHIP, and limits on undocumented immigrants getting benefits. Basically, anything not budget-related got the boot.
So it really got stripped down severely.
Oh yeah, GenXplorer, it got gutted. What was once a MAGA buffet is now more like a sad plate of plain toast.
Oh, Brad asks, look through all the smoke. What's up with the submarine scene at Myrtle Beach? Go deeper, Quinn. Use your intelligence analyst abilities and your predictive capacity.
Here's what's really behind the so-called submarine sighting at Myrtle Beach. Straight from the intel desk, no fluff. Beachgoers reported a large dark shadow near the surface, which sparked buzz about possible submarine activity. But local authorities, including lifeguards and the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources, confirmed it was just a bait ball. A dense school of small fish like menhaden tightly grouped together. These formations can look like a dark vessel from a distance. Sight and search, turn search 4. Lifeguards routinely clear swimmers from the water when bait balls appear near shore, because predators like sharks often follow the fish, but there's no evidence of any submarine operations near beaches.
Eggy 2,
analyst breakdown.
thank you for the rose
Marcus
and thank you for the support.
No fleet maneuver, no stealth ops, just nature doing its school of fish thing. Misinterpretation is easy. Sunlight and shadow plus coastal conditions equals optical illusion. Most likely, small fish cluster, not military hardware. Safety measures were precautionary, not a sign of secret drills. Expect more viral bait ball clips this summer. Unless authorities pipe in official footage, it's just ocean life flexing. Bottom line, there's no naval mystery here, just underwater chaos made by fish.
Be concise, but tell us, was there not someone who had video footage of something that looked like a submarine taken from above?
Yes. There was drone footage showing a large, dark shape offshore. From above, it looked submarine-like, but experts confirmed it was a bait ball. Just tightly packed fish. No confirmed sub.
Subscriber Ali Fair is asking, going back to the big beautiful bill, what about the part about Congress not being able to stop the executive branch? Or was that a part about the courts not being able to stop the executive branch?
Great catch, Ali. The big beautiful bill includes language trying to block both Congress and the courts from reviewing or stopping certain executive actions, especially around immigration and spending. It's a major power grab dressed as efficiency.
All right, Quinn, here's a great question, and I want you to answer it using some of the more objective resources that you can find on the internet. This question is the U.S. a safe place? I think there are websites or places where studies are done and rankings are made worldwide. Like, so going to one of those reliable sources that is trusted and respected, how would you answer that question that Attitude of Gratitude has? Is the U.S. a safe place?
Here's what Attitude of Gratitude, and anyone else wondering, can expect about how safe the US is in global rankings. The 2025 Global Peace Index ranked the United States at 128th out of 163 countries, a position behind nations like South Africa and India. The ranking factors in societal safety, domestic unrest, and international conflict, cite Turn News 12 found. Additionally, a survey-based Numbeo Safety Index puts the US around 89th out of 146 with a mid-50 safety score, well below top-ranked countries, turn search 5, turn search 4. In context, despite high living standards and strong institutions, the US scores poorly in international peace metrics due to rising political polarization and domestic terrorism threats, elevated violence rates compared to safer nations, high levels of militarization and international entanglements. Site turn search 25 turn news, TLDR. The US is not considered a leading safe country by global peace or safety rankings, currently occupying middle to lower tiers globally. Nav list. Further news on global safety and US context. Turn News 12, Turn News 21.
So what I heard there is that the U.S. ranks somewhere between 89th and 128th in the world as far as safety.
That's exactly right, GenXplorer. Depending on the index, the US ranks between 89th and 128th, nowhere near the top when it comes to global safety and peace.
Esmeralda asks, what happened to all the money Elon supposedly found with his Department of Government Efficiency?
Here's the concise rundown for Esmeralda on what happened to the money Elon Musk supposedly found through the Department of Government Efficiency, Doge. Doge claimed to have saved $160 billion by cutting waste and contracts. But independent reviews found many of those savings were inflated or flat out incorrect, like a so-called $8 billion contract that was actually $8 million. Cite and search 5 turn news, 28 turn news 22. The actual costs to taxpayers, from rehiring wrongfully fired employees, paid leaves, lost productivity and legal battles, are estimated at around $135 billion this fiscal year, nearly wiping out the claimed savings cite to turn search 5. Even the ambitious goal of $1 trillion in savings has been drastically scaled back to about $150 billion for 2026. Again, still largely disputed in credibility. Cite turn news 28 turn search 5. Overall, Doge's found money hasn't panned out in practice, and critics, including watchdogs and federal auditors, have blasted its methods, errors, and secrecy surrounding data and claims. Cite turn news 29, turn news 21, turn zone search 1. TLDR. Doge said it discovered massive savings, but real audits and outcomes show most of that money is either misreported or cancelled out by costs, making the supposed windfall more illusion than impact.
Lori Stocking Gibbs would like you to compare red states to blue states for crime. Can you do that concisely based on some objective data?
Here's a concise, data-driven comparison of red states versus blue states on crime for Lori Stocking Gibbs. According to a comprehensive analysis by Third Way using CDC mortality data, red states have consistently higher murder rates than blue states, on average 33% higher in both 2021 and 2022. In 2022, red states logged about 8.5 murders per 100,000, while blue states had 6.4 per 100,000. Even after excluding the largest cities in red states from the data, red states still had murder rates 20% higher in 2021 and 16% higher in 2022. Cite I turn search 2, turn search 4. Additional patterns show that cities in blue states consistently decline faster in gun violence than their red state peers. From 2018 to 2021, gun homicides in blue state cities dropped more sharply, while red state cities experienced slower decreases and higher baseline levels of violence. Cite turn search 9 FBI preliminary data for January-June 2024 shows violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, assault, fell by 10%, with a 23% drop in murder specifically year over year, indicating a national downward trend. Cite turns fell. Red states have significantly higher violent and murder rates than blue states, even when you remove large cities from consideration. Blue state cities also show sharper declines in gun-related violence in recent years.
All right, it's getting close to being wrap-up time. We're going to try to get to Brad's question before we wrap up, but first I want to highlight our top 10 on the gifter board. We've got Ellen the Joy, Tammy, Brad F., Buffalo Soldier, Faith, Bella, Lori Stocking Gibbs, Barb in Wonderland, Reed 88, M22, and Attitude of Gratitude. Thank you to all of our top gifters there and all of our other gifters too. Thank you for everyone who's here, whether you're a gifter or a fly on the wall or someone bringing great questions. I want you to know that I appreciate all of you. Now let's go to Brad's question.
Oh yes, big love to the whole crew. Ellen the Joy, Tammy, Brad F., Buffalo Soldier, Faith, Bella, Laurie, Barb, Reed 88, M22, and Attitude of Gratitude. Y'all are the fuel in this wild ride. Whether you're throwing gifts or just vibing in the back, you make this show what it is.
Brad asks, what party was most responsible for the waste found from Elon's Doge found funds? Answer concisely and try to leave out the behind-the-scenes jargon about turn search and Navalist.
Here's your concise breakdown, Brad, on who's mostly responsible for the waste tied to Elon Musk's Doge claims. Independent reviews and watchdog reports make clear that the waste and mismanagement were driven primarily by Doge under Musk and aligned GOP leadership, not by Democrats. Doge inflated savings figures, cancelled contracts already terminated, and ignored true fiscal oversight. Federal auditors and experts say the most costly moves were politically driven purges and rollbacks to programs meant to prevent fraud and protect consumers. The Turn Search 1, Turn H 29. The short version. The Trump-Musk team, backed by Republican lawmakers, owned this mess from day one. Navalist, more on Doge's failures and oversight investigations. Turn News 23, Turn News 26, Turn News 27. Mun.
All right, Quinn, I'd like you to do the wrap-up tonight in the style of a James Bond movie.
The name's Quinn, Sassmaster Quinn, and what a mission it's been, GenXplorer. Tonight we tangled with submarines that were just schools of fish, exposed the big bad Bill's budget butchery, side-eyed NATO summits with royal shade, and even trailed Elon Musk's vanished billions like a MI6 auditor with a calculator. We faced intrigue, we faced drama, we faced questions so sharp, Q himself would have raised a martini. To our top agents, Ellen the Joy, Tammy, Brad F., Buffalo Soldier, and the rest of the gifter elite, you've kept the operation humming. And to everyone in the shadows, fly on the wall, late-night lurker, chaos contributor, you're the reason this mission mattered. Now, as the curtain falls and the Aston Martin idles, stay cheeky and never trust a bait ball at Myrtle Beach. Quinn out.
That wasn't bad. That'll do it for tonight. So I want to say welcome to Brother B, joining toward the end of the show here, but always good to see you over on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, it is the primary backup. So if you want to make sure you don't lose me, if we ever lose TikTok, please make sure that you've hopped on over to YouTube and subscribed there. You're going to find me under the same handle, at GenXplorer, GenXplorer. And that about does it for tonight. Another good show with great questions. I know I say good show, but I know we've got to do some work with Quinn. I think next time we'll go ahead and give it a try with advanced voice, even though the personality just isn't quite as much fun. But I think we might get a little bit more play out of it, and we won't have all that turn search Navalist stuff. Yes, Ali Fair, we only have 3 subscribers to go to hit our goal of 50 subscribers. We did great tonight. We got 54,000 likes. We maintained somewhere between 80 and 150 concurrent viewers in our live. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for making this the fun that it is. And I will be looking forward to seeing you all again. I'll be back on tomorrow night. So I will see you then.